Y'all are so funny.
That's intro.
I love that. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being here tonight. Happy Halloween. Happy All Hallows Eve and all of that jazz. We're here to discuss our next book in our library book review. So this month was my pick. And I decided to go with a high school classic of mine. I read this back in the day, y'all, back in the day. I want to say it's like ninth grade.
Wow.
Ninth grade or eighth grade. Yeah, ninth grade. Loved it when I was a child. And I said, let me see if it still hits the same, right? Let me see what's it hitting on, right? And we read it again. So again, this is, as the thumbnail shows, A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. And just to give you a little bit about the book, the summary, it's 1895. And after this, the unaliving of her mother, 16-year-old Doyle is shipped off from the life she knows in India to Spence, a proper boarding school in England. Lonely, guilt-ridden, and prone to visions of the future that have an uncomfortable habit of coming true, Gemma's reception there is a chilly one. To make things worse, she's been followed by a mysterious young Indian man, a man sent to watch her. But why? What is her destiny? And what will her entanglement with Spence, most powerful girls, in their foray in the spiritual world lead to? Now, I picked this book specifically for Halloween, fall reads, because when I was younger, I remember this book being kind of spooky, right? I was like, ooh, witches and, secret societies and ghosts and zombies and stuff. So I was like, okay, let me pick this for this season. But before I get into like my thoughts, I really want to know what you guys thought about it. This is both of you all's first time reading the book. And I just want to know what you guys, and again, this is the spoiler-free version or portion of the show. We'll alert everyone when we do go into spoilers. But who would like to go first with their thoughts and their star rating?
I won't dive in.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I really, really like all the spooky dooky of it all. I love spooky dooky books. But I wouldn't say necessarily that this felt very spooky dooky. I would say that the element that I did, however, appreciate about this book is the like witchcraftness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really into like witch lore and kind of I guess the practices of like, I don't know, like spiritualism, for instance, which is injected into this book at some points. Mm-hmm. And I found that the way that was incorporated into the story made sense, and that it was done effectively for the plot. I really liked that. I also love a good like friend group story. It gives you a couple different characters to get invested in as the character development occurs. And then you really get to get into like the character dynamics and all of that. So I appreciated that as well. I think the author did a pretty good job with the pacing once, we got to Spence. A little before that, though. It wasn't a lot before that, but before getting to Spence, it was dragging for me. But yeah, it was a decent read for me.
Okay. I probably should have told you guys that this was a YA fiction, a young adult fiction, before I selected it. But what would you give it as the star rating? 5 being the best, 1 being the absolute worst.
Oh, we rating?
Yeah,
We rating. Okay. Wait, one being the best, five being the worst?
one being the worst, five being
Oh,
the best.
okay. I heard that backwards. All right. One to five. I'll give it a 3.5, a 3.7.
A
3.7.
3.7? Okay, all right. That's
Yeah,
basically a bubble.
3.7.
We're gonna use
We
that.
can round up. We can round up.
All right. So, Stephanie O, thoughts and star rating.
I was pleasantly surprised. I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, here we go. My least favorite time of year. What is she gonna do? I didn't start the book until a smooth Monday, and immediately I found myself really into it. I actually enjoyed the whole book. I love the amount of detail provided, even in the smallest of things. They would just really be descriptive. I also love a book that has storylines within a storyline. I tend to need more than one storyline to kind of keep me honest in terms of absorbing the story too. So I loved that there were so many different kind of stories going on with other characters. And I agree, it wasn't too spooky because that would have turned me off. Like it was just the right amount of fear and heebie jeebies and craziness going on. I actually really enjoyed this book. I think this was a really great pick. One of dare I say, one of the better ones I've read so far this year.
Ooh, okay. So, out of star rating, five being the best, one being the worst.
I like to think of it as five being manacle, one being
Okay.
that book we just read, whatever that was. We're going with a smooth four stars.
Okay. All right. All right. So, y'all, this book was all right. Just a little backstory about me. I used to go to a Christian school, right, back in the day, uh, in ninth grade specifically. And I came in with this book and all hell broke loose. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, she's reading a book about witches.
Ooh.
I love this book so bad, but I had to give it up because them Christian folks was not getting with it. But I was in love with this book as a child or a young girl, I would say, because right around the time that Gemma, I was like around her same age. So it felt like, okay, yeah, I'm reading about this girl who's my age, and you know, and I really enjoyed it. I remember staying up late past, when I was supposed to really be sleeping, trying to get in the next couple pages, reading it back. Um, I still enjoyed it. I don't know if it's like the nostalgia's kicking in, but I will say that I did remember it being spookier than what it is, and I'm not sure if it's that I'm adult. I'm an adult now, and my taste for spooky has like increased, or if it's just that I've read the whole series and I feel as if the series gets a little bit more spooky each, but kind of like Harry Potter, how it kind of grows with the character. Um, but I very much enjoy this book still to this day. Hi, books. Hi, thanks for being here. High praise for Stephanie. Right. Very rare. High praise.
Chuck, I saw that. I was like, ah, yes.
But I very much enjoy this book. So much so that I went ahead and started on the second one, because I just couldn't wait to get into the next one. So I'm definitely, for me, I'm going to give it a 4. I'm giving it a 4. If I'm basing it off of all of the books I've read this year, okay, it's hard because if I'm basing it in the genre that it is a young adult, spooky fiction read. So if I'm basing it off of strictly young adult reads, I'm giving it a 5 because I really like it, right? But if I'm basing it in all books, all genres, I'm going to have to be fair and give it a 4.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, it was so she was so surprised that that's 5-star rating potentially. She had 30 camera. But let's get into the spoilers. Okay, so y'all, when I read this book back, I remember Kartik, right? Being really into Gemma, but he was paying her dust like this first book. I was like, oh, I forgot this is a slow burn because he would not that he was paying more attention to Pippa than he was paying to Gemma.
I felt like that he was trying to throw her off. I did not feel like he really was feeling Pippa like that. I think that was just so that she wouldn't know what he was like. I didn't feel like that was authentic how he felt about Pippa. I didn't. I said he
Oh
tried
my
hard to
god!
get it.
I have linked.
Books, if you still here, click thumbs up the video and get out of here because we talking about spoilers and I don't want to spoil it for you if you plan on reading it. So
Right.
thanks for being here, but click off, girl, because we going into spoilers. But no, he didn't pay her anything. And I was thinking, I remember it being kind of, and now that I'm grown, I'm like, it's kind of weird reading about these little 15, 16-year-olds, right? I'm like, I got to age them up in my mind.
For sure.
But
Yeah. They were definitely adults, right? I took the school part out for sure. Yeah.
but no, I just felt like he wasn't paying her no mind this first book.
He been following her all over the India, England, and the like.
No, that's because he was tasked to do so. He works with the Brotherhood.
In her room, leaving notes. You ain't gotta leave a note in her room. Leave it in her book bag or something. He like
late 1800s. What he got to be sneaky with it. Plus, he's Indian in a time period where he's not like he's an Englishman. He can't get away with the same things. So I don't. That part was shocking to me because I remember them being like a little more together. But when it comes to Felicity, this book, I forgot how much of a bee she was in the first book. But I really like Felicity. I don't know how you felt about her, Stephanie.
I hate her. I hate Felicity. They wouldn't have been in half the trouble they were in had Felicity not been Felicity. From the hunter, the naked hunter. First of all, why the hunter naked? That should have been the first indication that we don't want to do this. I don't want to hunt no naked woman, and I don't want no naked woman whispering in my ear. Okay, but the fact that she was overcome by the beast or Cersei or whatever we want to call her minions, whatever, that's how all the problems, that's when the whole thing blew up. When she killing the deer, ain't nobody tell her to kill. I said, we've learned nothing.
Go ahead.
I just feel like we've learned nothing. Like y'all heard the story. Everybody was in horror in Felicity's sitting room when the journal was finished being read, and then you let the beast take over your mind and you killing deer in the woods. I was done with her.
I like Felicity because she has the balls, right? She has, she gets things done. She's not scared to be, the woman that she is. I really enjoy that from her because sometimes I felt like Gemma, even though she can have her moments where she's like a little snippy and snappy where she needs to be, right. But something about her, especially the more the book goes on, she kind of pulls back on that. And Felicity becomes like the more outspoken of all of them. But
I think everyone had their moments of courage. And I think that it would have been boring. And I think that's why Felicity got on my nerves, because I think that's what makes the book good when different people step up at different times. I don't need one linear girl, sure of herself, brave, strong the whole time. And a lot of the time she wasn't, in my opinion, having balls. She was just being nasty. She was just being mean. And deep down inside, she's just a hurt little girl whose mom is a whore and father doesn't care about her. So it's like, you're not even really strong. You're not even really about it.
Wait until you read. I don't know if you plan on going and reading more in the series. Sure. Okay, but wait until you find out. Because listen, it all will be revealed and it will make so much sense, right? But as far as the characters, when I was younger, I remember not liking Gemma that much. I felt but now that I read it back, she's one of my favorite characters as well. She's probably my second favorite, close to first. I'd say her and Felicity are like very close together when it comes to favorites. You didn't like Gemma?
I didn't like Gemma either. I appreciate her and I understand she's pivotal to the stories. If I'm honest, my favorite character was Anne. I liked Anne the best.
And can be a little funny sometimes, and she's too quiet for her own good. Like she would let anybody talk smack about Gemma. She don't say nothing, and I don't like that about Anne.
Well, I mean, to me, Anne knew how to pick her battles. Like she knew when she could, and now, granted, she has some insecurities, and when they lied about her parents being abroad, and Cecily, snitched on her, that was, okay. But I think that as a character, she tried her best to stay true to herself when as much as she could. Of course, she gave into some peer pressures and things like that, but deep down, I felt like she was actually, like, of the four of them, actually genuinely like nice soul, good person. I didn't think that for Peppa, Felicity, or Gemma. I was like, y'all all got black hearts. All y'all.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
for you, okay, this is where it stands for me. I like Felicity, Gemma, then Anne, then Pippa.
Mm. It would be Anne, Gemma, and then a tie for Felicity and Peppa. I didn't like. I
Oh
hated.
my God.
Peppa was the worst. She was
You,
the.
where do you stand on this? As far as the girls go, who was your favorite girl and who was your least favorite girl?
This is a tough one because I have the most standout thing for me about the four of them is that none of them are very likable. And I'll say that there's one instance where I was like, okay, Gemma. And that is when they had set Anna up like she was a thief. And Gemma came quick with the whoop-de-whoop, you know what I mean? To get her up out of that setup. Because that was messed up. Okay.
That was pretty
But
bad.
Really like that.
She wasn't even barely even getting with the story. It's like, come on, girl, like get with it. You see, I'm trying to help you out. Like what? That's
Okay,
not like
you was an orphan and no one ever showed you kindness. Would you be quick to allow someone to help? She's used to being a lone wolf. She's used to having to just take it on the chin.
No, because she was quick to run in that tent with the popular girls when she thought she was about to be with the in crowd. She was quick enough to do that.
Because she wants to belong.
Because Anna was an orphan and because she already knew the infamous behavior and reputation of these ladies, she should have been hip and a little more cunning. Like, I was just very surprised by how kind of doe-eyed she would go into these situations just to get set up and or get, made fun of, a prank on her or something like that by these same girls. Like, clear, like, on one hand, it's like, because you're the scholarship kid, you have to be on your best behavior for real. Like, you really can't act up like the other girls because at that, it can be taken away from you like that. But at the same time, it's just like it. I will say I was proud of Anne when she started to get emboldened. I was a little annoyed that it required friendship with her very persecutors in order to embolden her. Like, that bothered me. And the reason that I ain't really bang with Gemma all like that or feel like she really didn't have that many redeemable qualities as a human being is because we started the book and she had a nasty attitude with her mama. I understand you a teenage girl and you have your wants and desires and you have longing, right? A yearning for travel or a yearning to be among
a proper
your own.
English lady.
Be among your own. But at the same time, like we started off rough introducing Gemma that way, and I ain't really like her that much to begin with. I sympathize with her ordeal with the mom and like losing her and then being shipped off, and like any family she would have been able to grieve with, they're pretty much like, hey, go over here because now we don't have anybody to like teach you how to do what you need to do to become a woman, so you just go ahead and be over here. Like, that just that rubbed me the wrong way, so I did sympathize with her on that. But every 5 minutes, swear to God, her internal dialogue was roasting Anne, and I ain't like that because it felt like
roasted. Anne needed to be roasted sometimes, bruh. Anne needed to be roasted. Because Anne, look, I tell you, read the other ones, because Anne be trying it. I'm sticking up for Jim on that. Anne really tries it. It's like, come on, go read the fucking room.
And might and might try it, and she did have a little trouble reading the room at times, but that might be because she not socialized like these other girls. Like Stephanie said, she wants to belong, right? But she doesn't have a lot of experience following social cues. You can only do that by socializing. And if every time you're in a social setting, you're being made fun of, or you're the butt of the joke, like you're just not going to have the skills required to do so. That said, she got hit quick as soon as the four of them started becoming like a quartet. And I really love their exploration of their divine feminine powers. I love that so much. But if I to circle back to rate them, toward the beginning, I would say it was who I don't know who I liked. I guess 1 to 4. I'd probably say Anne, Gemma.
Anne? The first?
From the beginning, yeah. Because she reached out to Gemma. She reached out to Gemma. She had no reason to.
I'm just confused on the order. You mean the one you like the most is Anne?
From the beginning, it changed toward the end. But from the beginning, to start out, it was Anne first. Because she had no reason to befriend Gemma. You know what I mean? Gemma being a new girl, that was her chance to be like, oh, now I don't have to be a spectacle because there's a new girl. You know what I mean? A new girl whose mommy died or whatever. I don't know. Something, whatever. You know what I mean? Something. But she opened the door there. And even with her opening the door, Gemma is just like little fat plain Anne, sounding like she has a cold. She's so fat, and no man will want her. Girl, you're not the feminist you think you are, girl. You're not. You're not. And then I guess what's her face? What's the big bully? What's Regina George's name? Felicity.
Regina George.
And then Philippa, I guess, or whatever her name is. What's her name?
Honestly, I'm surprised that Felicity ranks so low for you guys. Felicity is that girl.
Felicity gave me sadistic vibes. Felicity gave me sociopath. You know, like I knew that when the tables turned and when the turntables turned, that clearly it was going to be Felicity because, you know, she had her own, you know, the big bullies, they always got their own struggles that they got going on in the home and they don't really want to address. And so they just make everybody feel pain around them, the pain they feel deep inside. And girl, F all that, all right?
This is what I like about Felicity, though, because Felicity always looks out for number one, and she makes no qualms about looking out for number one. Meanwhile, everyone else is looking out for number one. Gemma looking out for number one. Anne Shore is looking out for number one. No. Yes, she is. No. Yes, she is. Because as soon as, if she had even the slightest chance to get in the popular crowd and throw Gemma under the bus, she would shove Gemma ass under the bus as soon as she could. So it's like, I like Felicity because she's blunt about her, you know, desire to put herself first. I'm like, yes, Felicity, do that thing. Yes, make it happen.
I think you said that because you think that people like that, with people like that, you know what you're going to get. I don't think she's like that for real. I think she puts on like that because that's how she's learned to cope with the shit she's got going on. But but like I said, when the turntables turned, she, you know, became venomous and malicious, right?
Okay.
Murderous, damn near.
No,
Um,
murderous. Yeah, for sure.
killing,
Definitely committed a murder.
killing small animals is an indication of psychopathy.
Okay.
Psychopathy.
That was a
Um,
big animal. That was a big animal.
hello, yeah, it was, and she made everybody get naked first. Girl,
Uh-huh.
something going on
Hmm.
there. There's something
Right.
going on in there.
Yeah, no, she's
Um, I'm mad.
Well,
I've been off. Go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was saying, oh no, if because we do have a death at the end of the book. And I'll just say I was glad it was Pippa. I'm glad she was the one who couldn't make it through.
Are you
Because
kidding? Are you
she was
kidding?
so like Pippa at all. There was not a point in the book at one point that I ever liked Pippa.
Go
She
ahead.
was so unlikable throughout the whole of the book.
That was the worst death ever. Like you died just so you ain't marry that fat old man. That was the
That's what I was
stupidest
thinking.
reason to die. Like if she'd have
It was
died because they couldn't get back in time, but to die so you didn't marry that old rich fat man is so shallow. That was
Like
like
she just
we could have killed her later in another book. Like she should have survived this book. There was no reason she died this
yeah,
book.
yeah.
That
I
was,
agree.
I was
I
pissed about
agree.
that because you got
really
married.
felt like she had no control over her life, right? Everything was always chosen for her. Because she was
Yeah,
beautiful, she really didn't have anything. And plus she had that whole, epilepsy thing. So it was like, I can see why she would choose to stay in the realm with her
there's a
little
theme.
night boo. It is, yeah, I'm gonna let you know.
There's a
But
theme of her not being in control that really set in when she was like, I'm just going to choose to stay because that is the only time she's been able to make a choice for herself.
mhm.
That said, once again, I circle back to Gemma's character because a big reason why she was like, okay, girl, yeah, you stay, you're gonna have a good time, is because then when she got back to the world of the living, she knew she was gonna have Kotick to herself. Cause she saw Kotick was looking at Pippa like,
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you because hold on. Because
am I lying?
even if she wanted no. Because even if she wanted him
Am I
to
lying?
herself, she had a prince boo. She was not worried about what's his name, Celtic. What's his name?
Kartik.
I don't even like that name, but she Pippa wasn't even worried about him.
Don't
So I
matter.
don't
Don't
believe
matter.
Jim. I don't
But
believe
in Gemma's eyes, Kartik was worried about her.
I
I can see that. I can see
I don't.
that.
That is
she
sick.
was
That is
she
sick.
was
Like
jealous.
no.
Yeah, it is. It is. And hence two fourths. That is why I decided that Gemma is just not that girl that she thinks she is, girl. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, I'm gonna circle back and say yes, no, and it still remains number one for me. And actually,
Hey.
Felicity, after doing what she did, and then immediately getting by Karma and learning her lesson, I'm gonna boost her up to number two. Gemma is three
You
now.
Oh,
guys
I'm
are
sorry.
wild. Y'all are wild for picking Anne as a
Gemma is
favorite.
three now.
mm-mm,
Because at
mm-mm.
least at least Felicity
There's
cried
no
at the
circle.
funeral.
There's no circle in hell where Anne should be the first favorite girl. Like, she's literally the worst. She's always so woe is me, always such a damn downer, always,
She got a
trying to social
stutter.
climb. Huh?
She has a stutter. She has a stutter.
She's a
That's
downer. She's a
cool.
downer. I
She has
can't
a
stand
stutter.
Anne, but okay. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Also, can we talk about the fact that it came out that Gemma's mother was married? When that happened, my mouth dropped. I was like,
Yeah.
her mother was in. I really didn't think they were connected. When they brought
Right.
that out, I was done for it. I said, oh, y'all gotta tell me how this book end now. Like now I was like, come on, speed this up.
Changed her whole identity after her little lesbian relationship with Sarah. Like,
Listen,
girl.
I knew
listen.
something was up. I just wasn't sure. Honestly, I thought it was either Miss Moore or the mom,
Okay.
or both of them were. I don't know. I even for 2 seconds thought Miss Moore was like
Mercy.
how a powerless human version of Cersei
Okay.
for 2 seconds.
Mhm.
But I also we saw it coming that Cersei was gonna pretend to be the mom in the realm or whatever for at some point. I thought it might have been her the whole goddamn time until it actually was.
I was a little worried about that, but I should have known her mother was one of the people when Bridget looked at her eyes and had like that moment of, oh, your eyes are so green. I should have known Bridget has seen those eyes before, but I didn't put it
Mhm.
together until I heard. And for those, I mean, it is a spoiler. And
Yeah.
Bridget was one of the maids, and she
And the
knows.
fortune teller
Right,
and the fortune teller lady.
right,
Uh-huh.
right. I didn't even. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Right, because she was calling her. Right, I didn't even.
Mhm.
Oh wait, and then I
Oh,
also really like the seance scene when she's seen the teacher's boyfriend on the other side, and he sent the message back.
yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Another good, like, again, I love the descriptions that they gave. Like, it
Yeah.
was very detailed. I could almost see it like in my own
Yo,
mind.
this is one of my favorite childhood authors. I'm telling you, she gets it done every time. I already told y'all about the other book she wrote that I really, really like. But yeah, I really enjoyed this book. Clearly, everyone really enjoyed it. If you guys do decide to read further into the series, there's a whole bunch of new characters that get introduced. It
Hmm.
gets like a little bit more darker. More things are discovered. It's just a really great series, in my opinion. But
How many
yeah.
are in the series total?
It's 4 books.
Okay, that's
My favorite, I want to say it's been years, guys, years since I read the book. So I'm just rereading the second one now. And I remember really enjoying this one before. So I want to say Rebel Angels, which is the second one, or the third one may have been my favorite. Is it 3 or 4? Is it? No, it's 3. Excuse me, it's 3. So
great.
it's A Great and Terrible Beauty. It is Rebel Angels and something far. It's been years. I want to say it's 3. But the third one, either way, I really enjoyed the series. And if you guys do plan on reading more into it, and if the audience of you guys do plan on reading more into it, just know it is spectacular. If you have like a little young lady, around age 15, 16, go ahead and introduce her to A Great and Terrible Beauty. She'll enjoy it. We enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed the video, please like the video and join us next month for our next book. So we do a little round robin. So our next selection will be E's selection for the month of November. And of course, if you have any books that you feel that we should read, let us know. But yeah, thanks for watching and have a good day and happy Halloween. Bye.
Bye.